Okay, I'm doing my last project for the final action research project in Colby's class, and I'm just going to go through the questions, and then you can know about my project. Very first question, an overview of the implementation process. As you know, Colby, I started making my project with a little different emphasis. I was going to do a communication with parents project where I took Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and texting and all those kinds of communication technologies, and I was going to try to catch parents where they're at and communicate with them better than schools have previously done. But because in the middle of the project I took a different job, then my role changed and I didn't know how long I was going to be in a classroom, so I looked for a second project. My second project I came up with, which was the one that I did, was about parent conferencing. Instead of using a traditional method of parent conferencing, which we send out at random, basically, conference forms. It's just picking Tuesday at 3 o'clock for one parent and Wednesday at 5 o'clock for another parent. Then we get them back, and then we have to change them because the parents can't make them at those times. No matter how well we guessed, there was always a significant number that came back, and we had to reschedule. A lot of time was wasted. So my thought was to use signupgenius.com and create the days that were available, the times that were available, and then have parents go to it and schedule their own conferences and see which ones are open, see which ones they can make, and it would be a quicker process for both school employees, teachers, and parents. So the idea was to send them a letter home, first of all, have them go to the website, schedule their conference, have the conference, and then have them fill out a Google Form technology survey to let me know how it went, and then of course write up after that. So that's the first part. Major challenges that you faced during the process. I think the biggest challenge I had was getting parents to actually use this. This was a little bit, little more out there than I thought it was going to be, because what happened was I still got a lot of phone calls from parents wanting to schedule their conference that way instead of what I thought was going to happen. They just went to the website and did it. There were, well, I'll give the numbers later, but there was a significant amount of people who called and scheduled the conference than use the actual website. What changes would you like to make if you were to conduct another cycle of implementation? I think the biggest one I would do was at the very beginning I sent a letter home explaining that I was going to do it this way. The problem is I didn't send it home early enough. I sent it home about 4 days, before conferences officially started. And I think with something brand new like this, it would have made more sense to do it at least like 2 weeks in advance. During the course of the project, I sent home a letter, the same letter, 3 different times. And so that was, even after starting conferences, I sent another letter home, and then another letter home, kind of in the middle of conferences. My point was that I could tell I wasn't getting the involvement with the website I wanted, and so I just kept trying. Analysis of your outcomes. Was it successful or not, and how do you know this? You should collect quantitative and qualitative data. Okay, so some qualitative data. It was, I had 16 out of 27 conferences, and like I said, notices were sent home 3 times to get people to log into the Sign Up Genius. And of the 16, one parent called and I'm sorry, one parent had a parent conversation over the phone. 10 parents called and made their conferences. They didn't send a piece of paper back or anything like that. They actually called the school. 5 used the Sign Up Genius like I wanted to, and 2 filled out the post form, the technology survey that I asked. So, so the numbers aren't great. 5 out of 16, I guess that's close to 35%, which I guess isn't too bad. But 16 out of 27, I certainly didn't schedule conferences with everybody. I mean, get conferences with everybody. In middle school, generally, we only conference with students who are in the D and F category. So it wasn't like I had to have conferences with everybody. But what else can I say about that? That's about it. Qualitatively, people enjoyed using the website, the 5 people who did, and I can show you just quickly what it looks like. It has each one of the days, simple buttons if you've ever used Sign Up Genius before, where they can just put their name in or their initials in and schedule a conference. And it made a nice tool when parents called anyway. I went to the site and scheduled conferences for people, and I knew that I could check at any time to one central place. I didn't lose my conference schedule form this year. So anyway, they enjoyed it. They liked working on it. I did have one parent tell me that they didn't have access to the internet, and I had one parent say that they were not able to get on the website. So everybody else was able. Last question. How would you manage the change process in regards to, or how did I manage the change process in regards to students, staff, and administration? I told the kids about this twice during class. One time I called it up and showed it to them and showed them how to use it and actually scheduled a conference. I also had my principal go onto the site and make a conference herself. Once I got it built, I showed all the other 6th grade teachers and said maybe we should try this in March. And I made a commitment to the principal to show this off to the entire staff to maybe use it in the future. And that's it. Thank you very much.